Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Mork, that way, cunning but brutal, and I am Gork the brutal but cunning.
Oh my gosh, no. Seth apparently is very excited about Orc Day today on the internet because the orcs got their faction focused. Seth, who are we actually, for those that are not familiar with your Mork and Gork?
You are Kicker, the chief of cereal, and I am Seth the Mad Dog, the competitive correspondent.
And this is Signals from the Frontline, guys, live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hop in chat. Yes, we love you, chat. We see a lot of familiar faces. Well, I guess familiar names. And you also get to see the fun visual elements. Can we bring in my hobby progress? I got to show off what I did. Can we bring it? Oh, look at that. So as challenged by you, the audience, and my delightful co-host, these are vibrant, colorful, non-earth toned models that I've painted. This is a bunch of Seraphon from the new models coming out there. They are emerald and bright green, kind of a kiwi green going on there. What do you think,
Kicker,
Seth?
I just have to ask, how did it feel painting such vibrant colors?
Okay, so for those that don't know, I really like my earth tones. I like my natural colors. I like my browns and dark greens and moss colors. This was really outside of my comfort zone, Seth, and I gotta say, I loved it. It was so relaxing.
Good, man. It looks good.
It was so therapeutic. It was just so calming. Yes, chat. Tell me what you think. Do you approve of my paint job? I'm kind of proud. But yeah, it was actually one of the most enjoyable paint jobs I've ever done. So not only did I get hobby stuff in this week, I also got some competitive stuff. I came in third at an RTT, which is extremely uncommon for me to come into any sort of positive score in a tournament there. So I brought my guard and I had a lot of fun. And I did get my ass kicked once, but I won 2 of my games and had a lot of fun. So yeah, I definitely did enjoy my weekend. Seth, but what are you up to, man? What's going on?
I'm just continuing the grind, man. Painting 5 more flash kits. There we go. There we go.
5. How many are you going for again? What's your total?
I'm trying to get a full 30. So that there is 16 through 20. And I have 21 through 25 on the paint desk currently.
For those that weren't here last week, just explain why you're trying to paint so many of these damn minis.
Because I want to have 30 flash kits in my ACO list, because I just want 30. I want 30 flash kits. Okay, guys, don't judge me. I want 30 flash kits. But I do have still, like, even though I'm getting towards the end of the flash kit pile, and ACO is still a couple weeks away, I still have a decent pile because the next slide that was my here's my painted, and then I took my camera and just panned it over to, and here's what's left to be painted for that army. So I have 5 more flash kits, a pile of Gretchen. I want to do a new sculpt for the Shocktum Drags, and I have some Mega Knobs to paint. So I still got some work to do. But the Orc faction folks came out today. I'm a little excited about it, but we'll save that for later because we need to hear about what Nick's been up to, because Nick also had himself a big weekend.
Yeah, and hey, Kicker, watch over your head. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, so guys, I had a great weekend playing 40K. I went to the Maryland Open, which is about a little more than an hour away from me. Guys, I had a great experience. A few weeks ago, we talked about why we should still keep playing 40K, as 9th is ending and 10th is starting. My case, I just want to play with my models that are fun, so I put together a list that included Rodigus. Seth, Kicker, do you guys even know what Rodigus, Rodigus is?
Is he the giant snail?
Oh, it is the snail.
No, that is Horticulus Slimex. Rodigus is the named Great Unclean One. So I went 4-1, and I finished. Kicker, you finished 3rd, but I finished 13th out of 87 players.
But that's way more respectable than mine. I mean, that's
very good, man.
So was very happy with that showing. The highlight for me, I actually got to play my first game on stream of 40K, and I got to play none other than Matt Laura. You may remember Matt; he was the runner-up from the 2022 LVO. Guys, he kicked my butt.
Matt! I think Matt is in the chat right now. Matt, tell us how your game went. We'll be reading along.
Oh yeah,
no pressure. But he did, say how amazing it was to play you, Matt. So you better probably be nice to.
Oh yeah,
be nice.
Yeah. So it was a great experience there. My dog, if you're watching on YouTube here, you can see my dog was even watching from home.
Aww.
He didn't know what was really going on, and then the guys calling the game kept referring to my Lord of Change as the big chicken, which of course then the dog's just hungry and drooling everywhere. So that was creating a little bit of a mess. But overall, when 4-1, I had to drop before the last round because I was
Oh,
going to a concert that night. But my last game, it was Demons versus World Eaters. Got to go with Be'lakor versus Angron head to head. So great event overall. Really had a good time with it. And folks, just go play 40K. You might end up having your best weekend ever, even if 9th edition is ending. So
Good
hey,
point,
great time.
dude.
good job, man. Good job.
Good point.
Kicker, why don't you take us into that industry news?
Yeah, let's do it, guys. Up for pre-order this weekend, as seen in my hobby progress earlier. Seraphon in all their glory. We're getting. We got the early box a while back. That was the one with the codex or the codex equivalent, as well as a bunch of different minis. But now we're getting all the rest of the stuff. My personal favorite are the Angron. I can't even say them, but basically the Chargers. They're the heavy cavalry of the Seraphon. They are literally raptors riding raptors. They're just too damn cool. You want these miniatures. I'm trying to find a way to convert them for 40K, but I think I'm just going to be playing some Age of Sigmar for a little bit with these models because I love them so much. We also got these Croxigars. They're basically these giant lizard troll-like things that are so freaking cool. And they have a multi-purpose kit, I guess.
Mhm.
You can build these alligator versions, which I'm like, just giant gators are too damn cool. But we've also got a few other things that have been happening. One of those is we've gotten information on the old world. Seth, are you excited about this? We got the armies that are going to be in the old world and what armies are not going to be in the old world. But we did see the original, I guess, Orcs and Goblin warband, which is cool. Like, I love Orcs and Goblins. That's a great kit. We did lose Skaven, though, which is kind of sad because I like the Ratman. Yeah. Nick, did you see the whole list of 10th old fantasy, I guess, armies that are going to be out and about?
Yes, I did. As you said, Kicker, Skaven, not having new stuff.
Out for them.
I think there were actually a lot of fan favorite armies where they're not really going to be getting anything updated or done. So just even in my text with some of my buddies that I grew up with that are getting back into Warhammer just because Old World is coming back out, there was some excitement. There was also a little bit of feels bads for some folks. I'm a Skaven player. That's my true love for Warhammer, but I'm sticking with 40K, so I'll live.
Yeah. And you know what? We do have Wood Elves, which is another fan favorite. So I'm glad we got Wood Elves back, and of course the Dwarves. So and Beastmen. So there's still plenty of good stuff around. It is said, and Tomb Kings, of course. Yeah, there. Thanks, chat, for correcting me. All right, let's talk about 10th edition news. We've been getting bombarded by faction focus after faction focus. Yes, we have Orc Seth, but you got to hold off for a second. Let's start off with Imperial Knights. Thoughts on Imperial Knights?
Got it.
That's for last. Seth, Imperial Knights, the big boys. Give me a brief synopsis. What do you think, man?
Day's big and stompy, but we's gonna crunch them.
Okay.
They introduced an oath mechanic, which is basically like setting yourself like your own little mission, whether it's go steal objectives or kill the enemy warlord, and you get scaling buffs based on that as well as extra CP. So one of them is like you get to feel no pain. That's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's definitely some play there. We've been bouncing back and forth. What's between the two of them? Is it easier to capture your opponent's home field objectives or kill their warlord?
Yeah.
I think it'll obviously depend on what your opponent's warlord is, but there's definitely some play there. So I'm interested to see how those go.
Last Friday we got Tau, and I know, Seth, you've played more Tau than either Nicky Dee or I have.
Is that by that definition, is that any Tau?
Like, yeah, neither one of us have ever even played Tau. So you are the Tau guru in our.
So they basically have completely reworked how marker lights work. With them becoming an observer mechanic rather than I fire little laser pointers at you. They still definitely are going to improve the ability of the shooting units, but it does take a little bit more planning in terms of this unit's going to be the observer and then this unit's going to fire. And that one observer unit, they did preview like Pathfinders can observe for 2 different friendly shooting units, but just keep that in mind. It's a little bit more planning.
Do we know if Kroot can observe? Because that'd be kind of cool.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
Probably not. And then the big thing, the thing that's gonna like get everyone happy is they have shown that drones are no longer like separate models. They are war gear added to units.
Oh, cool.
So they give the units additional abilities, and the much maligned shield drone that everyone hated, that was just a little floating T4 2 wound disc with a 4 pinball save, now just gives the model you attach it to +1 to wound or +1 wound, which could be good, but it's definitely not going to be as strong as floating little dude with 4 pinball.
Yeah. No, those things were so
Did you like my
annoying.
drone impression?
Yeah, no, I love it.
Wub,
I
wub,
mean,
wub, 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 wub.
I see a drone right now. Where'd Seth go? No, those little shield drones were terribly annoying. I'm glad that they've been changed. Monday we had Chaos Knights, and I'm gonna phone in Nicky Dee for this one because he is our Chaos player, or more so than either one of us. So Nicky Dee, Chaos Knights. Any highlights you want to talk about them? Anything of interest?
Yeah, a lot of great stuff for Chaos Knights, and it's interesting just seeing the discourse between Imperial Knight players and Chaos Knights players. Who thinks they got the better book based on what we've got so far? The big thing for Chaos Knights, as you know, in ninth edition, is the Harbingers of Dread. It's that flow chart that they pick a different ability and they can't go.
Yeah.
They have to go back and forth, all that sort of thing. It adds a really cool mechanic. It's going to be much more simple, and as to what it does. It's easier for them to hit and wound units that are battle shocked. Units that are battle shocked are not as good at them. The one thing that was really spicy that I think got everybody fired up, it's the stratagem that you're seeing on the screen now. If you're watching the show, Dreadhounds, sustained hits. It makes sustained hits go off on a 5+. So what that means, it only happens for a war dog, so the little knights. But on 5+ to hit, it automatically wounds. That's a great ability for just one command point. They pack some great weapons. So Chaos Knights have some really, really cool
Wait, is
stuff.
sustained hits an automatic wound,
Oh,
or
no,
is it
correct.
exploding?
I'm still learning these rules. It's
No,
exploding. It's exploding.
You're getting exploding 5s and 6s, which is like legit, especially when you got some powerful gun going out. That's really solid. Stick around because I want to talk about Custodes, Nicky Dee. Maybe you have some thoughts because I've never played Custodes. I played against a lot of Custodes and they always stop me. But Trajan does some crazy stuff, right? Did you catch what he does?
Up in Vaughn.
I don't know what he doesn't do.
Up in Vaughn.
Seth is saying it.
Yeah. Overall, the Custodes look really, really good. I think there's a lot of people that really love them as a faction. Trajan has a lot. It's his moment shackle ability. He gets to choose, choose that. It can be a 2-up invul. There's some other great tricks that can be, built into it. But I think the other part for Custodes was their martial katas. They pick that at the start of each fight phase, and there's 3 different ones that they can choose from. That can be a defensive buff. It can make them more killy. So that works pretty well. And then their detachment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, detachment bonus of 4+ feel no pain against mortal wounds. So it's not just we're used to 9th edition.
Is it mortal wounds or psychic?
I think it's mortal wounds.
Oof.
Well, I'll pull up the page here to confirm.
I
but
know.
Yeah.
Okay. So while he's pulling up the page,
I'm pulling up too. It takes.
It is mortal wounds. It is mortal wounds.
It's all mortal wounds.
So hot take, guys, real fast. Seth, Nick, you go first. Do you think that we're going to have more mortal wounds in the new edition than we did in the old edition? Are they going to be a thing we have is this going to be more valuable going into 10th? Because, mortal wounds could definitely destroy Custodes in 9th.
Yeah, we've seen a decent number of the keyword devastating wounds in previews already, right? And devastating wounds is a 6 to wound instead of, the wound roll. It's that many mortal wounds, whatever the damage is. So I don't know. We're probably not going to have as many mortal wounds from psychic powers or maybe from the stratagems, but depending on how freely devastating.
I don't know. I mean, we just saw grenades.
You're right. Grenades can do it. Oh, good call, Seth.
Yep.
All right. Seth, your thoughts. What do you think? Mortal wounds, are they going to be more prevalent in 10th? Less?
I think they're going to be more prevalent. I think just with them adding like a core rule that is devastating wounds, I just think that means we're going to see like a lot of things have that.
Yeah. You're good point on the grenade strat, right? Now, basically, battle line troop squads can throw grenades and start dishing out mortal wounds. All right, now that we're done with faction focuses, we can go on to Sorry, I know Seth's been waiting for this. He's been waiting for this. All right, Seth, take it away. Today was Orc Wednesday. What happened
today was Orc Day, like D-Day, but orcs. So they previewed orcs. Now, the army-wide rule is still WOG. It's similar to what it was before, which is you call a WOG, you get advance and charge, you get +1 strength, and attack, and a 5-up invuln, but you just get that. There's no multiple phases anymore. But you only get to call it at the start of each battle round. So you're calling it, and if you're going second, your opponent knows that you're going to have that. But the flip side is They know you're advancing, charging, and coming at them, but you also get that inbalm. So you get that defensive ability, which is cool. Their detachment rule was get stuck in, which was the entire army gets sustained hits in close combat, which is exploding 6s to hit. So the Goff rule, basically. So that's pretty sweet. Now they previewed 2 units. They previewed the Beast Snagga Boys. Changes here. They got 1 better armor save, so they're a 5-up armor save instead of a 6-up, and they lost their invulnerable save, but they gained Feel No Pain 6+.
Oof, that's better.
So now, if I WOG and I have a 5-up invuln, I have a 6-up Feel No Pain and a 5-up invuln.
Look at that! Look at that combo.
Yep, and they still get buffs against vehicles and stuff, so they're still looking like a good troop choice. But boy, oh boy, they showed the big man himself right there.
It's controversial though, man. Some people,
Thrasher.
You like it.
Well, the other people are wrong. I'm right, and they're wrong. I don't care what their opinion is.
All right. Tell us why, guys.
He lost some toughness, whatever, and some wounds. Boo hoo. He's a 4-up invuln stave. He comes with Makari, who's a 2-up invuln, but he gained 2 massive improvements. He is infantry, so presumably he can move through terrain better than he did before, because before he had to. He couldn't have been worse than he was before, because before he had to keep waddling around walls slowly. Okay, so whatever. And he gained the leader ability, so he can join units. So before, he was phase capped at 4 wounds per phase, but there were armies with multi-phase damage. That's definitely always been a thing.
Guilty.
Now he at least can go in a unit, so he can prove his durability. He still is great in combat with his claw, and he hands out some pretty important buffs. The unit he joins gets +1 to hit and +1 to wound, which is really strong. And when your WOG is up, Makari's banner gives everyone within 12 inches lethal hits, which is 6s to hit auto wound. So he's going to be a spicy boy. Now, we don't know what points are.
Still have his really good invulnerable. I remember in 9.
He does have his 2-up invulnerable.
Okay.
So he can just be a little, they called it suspiciously lucky before. They don't call it that now, but in my heart, he's still suspiciously lucky. And his little stabba does devastating wounds as well. Yeah. See, mortal wounds right there. Yeah.
From Makari.
They showed a couple weapons on the Stompa. The Def Cannon, everyone's like, oh my God, that's crazy. It's literally the exact same profile it was before. The Mega Choppa is hilarious kicker because it has strength 24.
It's winning everything on 2s.
Just a casual 24. I mean, 24. We should wound everything on 2s. Yeah. That's as many wounds as Knights had in 9th edition.
Yeah, right. One shot a Knight.
Now, they also showed a controversial unit, the Squig launches on the Rucka trucks. These still are indirect fire, and they ignore cover, so that's making them a bit better. They lost the Pippa AP, but the ignore cover helps that. But the number of shots that these things fire is D6 + 6.
Okay, cool.
Before
but now
it was
one gun,
2d6.
right? It's one weapon, not like a bunch of like random, like the original.
Yeah, well, originally there was 2 different ones. There was like a heavy one and a regular one. This just says Squig Launcher. If that's the small one and there's a bigger one on it, I'm very concerned for everyone else that's not an orc. So keep that in mind. They previewed 2 stratagems. All right, Tech Priest Dicky. He's done very dirty things to me with his World Eaters, with his fight on death. And then they gave us Orcs is Never Beaten, which is any Orc unit can fight on death. So screw you, World Eaters. I get to do it too now. So I'm very happy about that. And then here we go. Appears to be a stratagem as well, which is just +2 to advance and charge rolls, which makes it real good. So I'm super excited about that. So I am a very happy Orc. I don't care what anyone else has to say. This was a great preview. I am all in, baby.
All right. Seth, but Mark of Corn in chat's asking, no more re-rolling charges for orcs? ? Is this a huge concern for you? I mean, re-rolling charges was fundamental. Seth,
I mean, I can use a CP to do that, maybe?
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't say we don't have that. It just showed that the rules we do have is one.
Good point. Yeah, there's only a faction focus. There could be more because they only gave 1 detachment. I don't know. There could always be more. Right?
Oh, we got us a super chat from John McCarl. Ooh, 99.99.
Thanks, dude.
That is a lot, John. Thank you so much, man. We'll good luck this weekend and see you at ACO in a few weeks.
Nice.
So yeah, Kicker will be working hard, but we'll definitely say hi at ACO because I think all 3 of us are at ACO.
Oh yeah, party! Woo! All right, cool. Yeah, if you see it at ACO, come hang out. We'll all go grab dinner or something.
I'm actually, if Keen Eye viewers scan back in the show to my progress table, I'm actually working on some special giveaway items for listeners.
Oh, are these the ones we talked about a while back?
No.
Oh, something different. Okay, cool.
I haven't told you about these.
Oh, top secret stuff.
Well, super secret. Ultra secret. And John, you are guaranteed.
Yeah, John's going to get one. I'm like, it doesn't make a difference. John's getting one. John, thank you so much. That was really generous of you, man. Let's hop into some nerd news. Calling Nicky Dee, man. What's going on in the pop culture side of things?
Yeah, there wasn't Kicker. We had a bunch of stuff last week, but this was actually something that I caught wind of this past week. It had already been announced. Do you guys remember the 80s movie Gremlins?
Yeah, of course.
It's a classic, right? Like, I always love watching it on Christmas Day because technically the movie happens mostly Christmas.
It is a holiday movie. I read,
right?
It's a fact.
Like the end of the movie, it becomes Christmas. So like the whole, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes, it is. Same thing with Gremlins. Anyways, HBO Max has, or it might just be Max now. That's a whole nother round of confusion.
Yeah,
but they've got a cartoon. I think it's a movie. But Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai. It's like a prequel origin of them. Typically, I am very wary about prequels, but there are some great voice actors that are going to be included in it. Of course, they look really cute. I mean, and who doesn't love Mogwai / Gremlin? So go check out the trailer. That's it. That's my recommendation for this week.
Oh wait! In the pre-show thing, we were chatting about a little series you started watching, which I binge watched about a month ago.
Yeah.
Guys, The Last Kingdom. Please, what do you think, Nick? You just started it.
Yeah, and I had one of the original guys that got me into 40K. His name is Aaron. He has the deepest voice you will ever hear in the history of anybody. He had recommended this series to me like years ago, and I just never got around to watching it. And then I just happened to watch last week this movie. Kicker, do you remember the name of the movie?
Oh my gosh, it's the Seven Kings Must
Yep, Seven Kings Must Die. Yeah. Watch the movie because it looked like it was this fantasy sword and board. Political maneuvering, but also battlefield type of stuff. Turns out that movie is the end of the TV series. I didn't realize it when I watched it. So,
pro tip: watch the series and then the movie. But if you like,
the order to watch things,
it's basically a good old medieval, fighting action movie series. A lot of Vikings versus British people or English people. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into what's next. Oh,
Signal shorts. Kicker.
Oh shit!
This one's for you.
All right, cool.
Are you ready?
I'm.
Are you prepared? All right. So, Kicker, why is it important to have a tournament buddy or hobby husband?
Hobby husband. Sorry. All right, ready? Go. Leading up to the event, you need somebody to practice with and bounce ideas off, even late into night. Seth, I was calling you late last night. Like
you were. I was like, I'm in bed, Kicker.
But you need that person. Okay. Also, they're going to keep you accountable. They're going to make sure you get your 30 flash kits ready for ACO. And you get to share a room with this person. All of these events, you're going to be staying at a hotel. Share a room with somebody. Make it a little easier on your wallet. And then on top of that, if you are on the top rounds and you need food or drink, your hobby husband, your best bud, can go snag you some food from the concession stand so you can keep on playing. Boom.
Awesome. Great job, Kicker.
There we go. We got to talk a little bit about events. It's important.
Yeah.
And not just Frontline Gaming events, but also just events that happen at Frontline Gaming. What? Sisters Terrain that just dropped. Right. Can we show the photo of this thing? This thing is amazing. Here we go. Let's bring that beautiful thing in. The Sisters Terrain was premiered, showed off at LVO. It was loved by all. It was one of our more competitive tables. It is perfectly designed and extremely functional and gorgeous. There it is. We have another photo that shows it on the complete and total table, complete like laid out there. If we want to pull that next photo too, it is a beautiful set you can get right now. Like I said, you can get it pre-painted, so you just got to assemble it and you're good to go. This will be at most of our events. This will actually be at all of our events for the rest of the year. It would be probably one of the primary sets. That and the Evil Chaos set will be the two primary sets. All right, what else we got? We got ACO. We got BAO we got BAO in like 4 days. I better get ready for that.
You do. It is indeed coming.
It is indeed coming. It is sold out. Walk-ins are welcome, but only if we can fit you in. I've got people constantly bombarding me trying to get in still. We have ACO. Guys, The packet, people have been asking me about this. The terrain packet, the terrain portion of the packet for ACO will be updated right after BAO. We want to see how BAO goes. And then if we need to make any last minute tweaks, we'll do that and then update the ACO packet. So give us another week and then the ACO packet will be updated. And then
I mean, everyone don't worry about ACO. I'm going to win it. 30 flash kits coming in hot.
Seth calling his shots. All right, there we go. Okay, Lone Star Open, guys. Kill team, should we do it? We currently don't have a kill team event there planned. Should we do it? I want to hear from you, the audience. Hit me up on Facebook, send me a message, shoot me an email. Tell us in chat right now.
How do you feel about smoke signals?
Smoke signals? I'm okay with smoke signals. Carrier pigeons are preferred if possible. I like animals.
Okay.
Smoke signals are okay, but carrier pigeons better. But tell us, because we're trying to figure out, we still have time. We can make a kill team event happen. But as of right now, it's still kind of in limbo. And now LVO. Last week, we talked about the launch date. The launch date is the 9th. The event will be taking place January 18th through 21st. It will be at the Rio, and you will have the choice of 2 different rooms in the room block. The rooms from, I guess, current rooms, and then the brand new upgraded rooms. They're only a few dollars more, and the nice rooms are very, very nice. I was very privileged to get to tour the new rooms while I was there earlier. Right. It is under new ownership, too, so there's going to be a lot of other changes and lots of potential. Now, also, if you are a high roller from 2023, so the past LVO, if you are a high roller, please check your email today, please. So make sure you check that out. We want to talk about the LVO logo. Yes, we've done a new logo. This is our robot. He is playing cards. He is a game system neutral, if you want to call it that. Because we didn't want to just do something that's like what we've been doing is just a 40K guy. LVO's gotten so big. While 40K has grown, Age of Sigmar has grown even faster.
Kicker, did you have a hand in this logo?
I mean, slightly.
It's very Earth Tony.
It is Earth. I did not actually, not on the actual execution of the logo, just in general overall concept.
I'm just saying, if someone sends that Earth Tony logo to Kicker, I'm sure he's like, amazing color choices. I love it.
It's perfect. But yes, we wanted a robot that whether you're playing Star Wars or you're playing, MCP or 40K, you can appreciate he's playing cards because he's in Vegas, he's gambling. There will be other versions of this logo based off on different packets, but this is just kind of our initial launch. But yeah, that will, you're going to want the merch with LVO because all this cool logo guy will be on a bunch of things. Do you like it? Are you, besides the color?
I like it. I like it. It makes me want to play poker, which I just said I have to go play poker now that I'm in Vegas this year. So it definitely is evocative of the event for me.
Awesome. Well, hey Seth, why don't we go to our main segment? You want to take it on there?
Kicker, there's a little event coming up this weekend. Have you heard about it?
No idea.
Bay Area Open.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that. Yeah, it's a thing.
And Kicker, can you tell us a little bit about the history of this event?
This is the longest running frontline game event. Everyone thinks LVO was our first. No, LVO is not. This is the granddaddy of the events. A lot of the founders of frontline gaming are from California, and the Bay Area was their backyard. And this was the first event. It has been hosted in all sorts of different venues. More recently, it was attached to the KublaCon Comic Convention. This year, it is independent from KublaCon. We're running the entire event. We were able to expand. But if you are a BAO ticket holder, you get to go to KublaCon for free. Yay.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can remember many, many years ago in the early days of this channel as a viewer, watching some of the coverage in between rounds of the BAO, which was very exciting for me. But it was I think it was in a fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Because I just remember Reese in a suit with the giant fur belt in front of bales of hay.
Yeah.
And I was very confused as to what was happening.
We've come a long way, Seth.
We have. But Kicker. So it's the granddaddy of all of the frontline gaming events. This is where it started. BAO doesn't work years ago. I don't know that you and I are sitting here, Kicker.
Exactly. It is what launched frontline gaming into being I'd like to say the best 40K / miniature wargaming tournament circuit there is. The BAO is restricted in size. People are like, well, why isn't it as big as LVO? So LVO has a lot of options that we couldn't do in San Francisco. First of all, San Francisco is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
So the BAO, it's sold out, but it's also it's not nearly as big as LVO. We just don't have the square footage. It's San Francisco's expensive to rent space. Mm-hmm. But with that said, we are in a beautiful ballroom. We're in the same location we were last year at the Marriott right next to the airport. It's gorgeous, right there on the water, plenty of light, a lot of elbow room. Awesome. But it's something you go pay pilgrimage to. You go pay, respect to. You go do BAO.
It's on my bucket list.
It's on your bucket list, exactly.
Kicker question. So
Shoot.
if I'm going to the BAO, what kind of food options you got nearby?
Well, I mean, you're in San Francisco, man, and
So you could just
you
wander
got
around.
more than just rice-a-roni there. All right,
Are
you
you
got.
sure? I've heard from a reliable source that rice-a-roni is the predominant treat in
in
San
San
Francisco.
Francisco. Um, I mean, I'm sure it is consumed, but no, there's plenty of food options around the area. The thing with this venue, though, is that you got a nice restaurant on site, but it's not like a full fledged resort like the Rio where you have
Mhm.
like 30 different restaurants. So you go down the street, you go get some food.
But you get the flavor of the town then.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco is such a fun city to go visit to. So I encourage all players that come to the BAO to try and stick around Sunday night. Go downtown or something. Enjoy San
I mean, you're
Francisco
on the
itself,
beach.
or flying back if you have to fly back. Hey, it's Memorial Day weekend, right? So
It is.
theoretically, you got Monday off. Go hang out.
You do. Chad is really appreciative that we're talking about the food situation. This is critical.
This is critical. Okay, so the restaurant on site last year was very good. I ate it. But to be honest, there it's not downtown, right? It's in between the airport and downtown. So you're going to want to hop in your car, hop in an Uber, and go downtown to go find like the fancy quality restaurants.
We're giving the people the lowdown. So
Well, I'm not
you
gonna be up.
needed a plan after your last round of the day. You need to get your buddies together and get the Uber lined up to head over to downtown to explore the area.
Yeah. But some other, all of our venues are different, right? This one's a premium, like venue itself is gorgeous, but it's not like Lone Star Open where you walk across the street and you're in like, a shopping center. So.
All right. So I did a little perusing of the attendees. Kicker, you care about the lists. I don't care about the lists. I care about the players.
Oh man. Okay. Fair enough. Well said.
I'm about the players, Kicker. And so I was going through and just seeing some names on there that really kind of stood out to me. The first name that I pulled out was Leo.
That's my boy.
Our beloved FLG member Leo used to be on the road crew. Now he's elevated in position and no longer on the road crew. But I'm excited to see him because I know a lot of the FLG guys don't actually get to play in the events.
Yeah, but this event in particular, because it's the longest running one, it's also a relatively short drive from the HQ in Vegas. A lot of the Frontline Gaming full-time staff are going to be playing in it.
And he's playing guard, and along with that, Frankie Giampapa is going to be going. He's playing Botan.
Frankie is the co-founder, co-president of Frontline Gaming. Yeah,
and our other friend in the crew, Jake Jacobson's there playing Yanari. So you got like 3 guys from the FLG team.
Dude, we also got Junior.
Oh, that's right. I remember Junior was on there. That's right.
And Junior's been on a roll. I think he won the Alamo GT down in Texas.
He did. Yeah, that was like a couple weeks back. Actually.
Yeah. So he's coming to battle it out.
Yeah. So
there's non-Frontline Gaming guys though too, right, Seth? There's a few, right?
Yeah, there's a few, but then there's also a lot of like names that have basically have either previously had some big success at FLG events or recently, including Ben Jurek. Who Kicker? Do you remember who won that Rocky Mountain Open thing that you just? Who was that?
Yeah, was it Ben? I think
it was Ben. It was Ben. So Ben's going back with his Goffs. So excited to see him.
To be clear, Ben is an orc specialist. Like that is his faction. So he's always playing orcs. He knows what he's doing. He won the Rocky Mountain Open earlier this year, so he's coming for the victory.
Now the problem is, Ben. He's gonna have some competition for orcs there.
Really?
Because one of the other big names in orcs, Lucas Trawler, is going to be there playing orcs. So we're going to have us a good old fashioned war boss off, I think.
Nice.
But if you're talking about other faction specialists there, you got Tyler Bortel running Gene Stealer Cult. He stays in his hive mind lane. And so he's always either on NIDS or GSC or a combination thereof. And then Kicker, I think you've met this man before, but Ulyss Sanders, the hardcore Necron player. He plays nothing but Necrons, live or die Necrons. He's there repping his Necrons. So,
nice.
You might be thinking, oh yeah, this army's not so good in ninth anymore, but there are some serious faction dedicated guys there. So I'd be watching out.
Oh, okay. You don't forget some of the other guys though. You're talking about dedicated faction players. There's one guy that this is what he's known for.
Now I know who you're talking about. I put Brandon Grant on the list, but I didn't put him on the list because of guard Kicker.
Okay, why?
He's played other things. I put Brandon Grant on the list because this man is a previous LVO winner.
True.
Previous BAO winner.
Yeah.
So this man is had a long track history, and he's been out of 9th edition for a bit. From my understanding, he's had a family, had some more duties there. So little less out in the 40K scene, but he's coming back. And I'm just gonna say, you got to keep an eye out for these guys, even if they're not playing a ton in this edition. They still got the skills. So I definitely keep my eye on the Brandon Grant. Everyone likes to call like Richard Siegler the robot. Brandon Grant was the original robot. Okay, he's Skynet 1.0.
He was.
Don't sleep on Skynet, people. It's going to take you down.
No, very, very well said, Seth.
Now, there is also another previous winner of the BAO here. Our good friend of the team, Jesse Sells, last year's winner. If everyone remembers that last year, it was a really kind of big emotional moment for Jesse because he was the late great Jeff Robinson's roommate, and Jeff had won this event. This was the Belt of Rust was actually renamed after Jeff.
Yep.
So Jesse to come back and win that title for his buddy was great to see. So he is back to defend his crown, and he's bringing sisters. And I got to tell you, man, people are sleeping on sisters still.
Yeah, they got a punch. Yeah, I mean, man, Jesse, I'm rooting for him, man. yeah. He won last year. He's a friend of the Frontline Gaming family. I can be a little biased. So and like you said, he's taking sisters. We haven't seen sisters. Has Sister won any major event in the past few weeks?
Not in a minute, but they're definitely still have the potential. Right. So I wouldn't count someone like Jesse out.
Hey, we got do we have James Carmona? He's coming too, right?
James Carmona. Now, James said that he said the we. I don't know who we is because I don't remember saying that his World Eaters suck. And that he wasn't going to win with them at the Capital City Clash. So I'm here to say James Carmona's taking World Eaters and they're going to suck because I hate World Eaters, James. I don't hate you as a person, but boy, do I hate World Eaters because it's really fun playing against World Eaters as orcs who don't have the heroic intervention in the fight on death strats right now. So down with all World Eaters players. I'm sorry, James. You were just a victim of the crossfire here.
Oh, that's so funny. Nicky Dee, what's chat think about our list of players to watch at BAO?
Yeah, first of all, guys, chat, loving all the action tonight. A lot of folks, usual folks, some newcomers to the chat that are here as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, please come and join us in the chat for future weeks. A couple of questions that I got for you, Kicker and Seth, to lead us off. Kicker, chat wants to know, what is the breakfast cereal situation at BAO? You should have expected this.
All right, chat. I love you guys. I will never bullshit you. BAO, it's fine. The restaurant down there for breakfast is fine. It's nothing special, but I am very particular with my sugary breakfast cereal. I want to make sure I get the best. So this is the kind of venue where you do throw a box of, Honey Bunch of Oats, Cocoa Pebbles in your suitcase.
There you go. I was like,
yeah. I'm like, Fruit Loops are okay. Frosted Flakes, they're okay. But I want some Cocoa Pebbles. I'm bringing those with me to the event. So recommending you guys do the same.
Excellent. Right. Okay. The chat does seem to be excited to see what Brandon Grant does on the table. We guys talked about him coming back. There's also some Frankie fans in the chat. So Frankie's
running Votan. He's bringing his Space Dwarves on. Yeah, right. He's bringing Votan, right?
Votan. Yeah, he's got Votan on the list.
So that should be fun. But before we go, Seth, question for you from the chat. So don't blame me. Don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger here. Chat wants to know: are you wearing purple this weekend and sneaking into the event last minute?
We'll never know.
It'll be a surprise.
I was wearing purple. You'd never see me, so you'll never know. You can't prove I wasn't there wearing purple. How's that, chat?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Seth, speaking of things that you cannot see but you can hear, what's going on with the front line?
Good transition. Where's Air 5? Air 5. Good job, bud. Things going on in the network. If you guys remember, folks on the network, tabletop little group called Tabletop Titans. I don't know if you heard of them, Kicker.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
They've been doing some new content that I've been finding very interesting that I thought was worth sharing. Everyone knows they have live streams for their 40K games and their AOS games and MCP games, but they've been doing more of these kind of sit and chat styles called the Good Talk, and they've been covering all kinds of topics. They did one where what was the strongest armies of 9th edition or the most broken armies, but now they're starting to get into more of the faction focused breakdown. So that's been fun to see, and them just sitting around chat. So I think those are always kind of those are good, easy listen, because it's just two dudes talking, and it's not so much like you have to pay attention to what the game's doing. So I've found that really good just to kind of listen to while I'm painting my million flash kits. I have to shame our listeners though, Kicker.
All right.
I'm very upset with them because I've been as part of my role here, I watch all the other shows and keep an eye on them and help them when I can. And our friends at the former Thursday show called the Warhammer Meta Chasers now, they definitely have had some trouble finding their audience again, because they had a great audience when they were part of the main channel here, but when they decided that they wanted their own channel in their own space, y'all didn't follow them over there, and I'm a little sad about that. So go support those guys. They're still doing great work. I mean, I know they don't have Tech Priest Dicky behind the camera anymore, and they don't have the lovely Nicky Dee like we do, but they're still a great group of guys, except for Adam Camilleri. But Paul and Dustin are great.
Wonderful human being.
And you can everyone can tolerate Adam Camilleri for a bit.
If you have to, yeah.
Yeah. So go on over there and check them out. Now, Kicker. The last person group that I wanted to talk about, this little group called Vanguard Tactics.
Yeah, they're I think out of the UK or something.
Yeah,
nothing
and they've been helping me with some coaching. And they, I was talking with Steven, they actually have a big plan for 10th edition. They have actually been doing tons of work behind the scenes on this. But they're actually launching a 10th Ed accelerator program. So basically, do you, Kicker, want to have a video crash course series for how to play 10th competitively? And do you want someone who is very skilled in education, like Michael and Steven, to take you through it and show you how to do it? If that's something you're interested in, they actually have launched the pre-orders from that program, and it's only like $46 right now. Wow. And it's going to have a ton of content for the whole program. It's $46 for the accelerator program.
It's less than a box of infantry.
Yeah, that's literally how they advertise it. I wonder where you got that, Kicker. But no, so I'm super excited about that. So I'm going to be signing up for that myself to kind of help get my feet under me, because I'm planning to go to Lone Star. So I got to learn this edition fast, folks. So yeah, and then Matt's not biased about the VT coaches being pretty good. He might be one of them. But go check him out. I'm very excited for that program. I know Steven's been doing a lot of work on that. So jump in out while you can, because I think the price after the pre-sale ends, it goes up to like 120 or 130. So it almost doubles.
Hey, we're talking about Vanguard Tactics. I got to say this. We didn't talk about it earlier. It's pretty important. That sister set, that's Vanguard Tactics approved. Stephen Box has given his seal of approval. I
saw the logo on there.
Yeah, right. So that one's that we worked with in collaboration with them as well. So another super secret project of training that we're working on. That's going to be another VT special that we'll be making. So sit tight for that one.
Is it a gym set?
How did you know? No.
Busted. All right. Kicker, let's get on over into the community spotlight. You did a little poll that I thought was interesting. I got a fair few votes this week. What was that one?
Yeah. So a lot of votes, guys. Thank you so much for contributing. To vote, look every week in our Frontline Gaming Facebook community group. And there you see their poll each week. All right. So how many playable 40K armies do you have? So the key word here is playable. All right. So we had, 1 as an option. We had 2 as an option. We had 3 to 4 as an option, 5 to 7 as an option, 8+ as an option. And then somebody went in and said, I have multiple that are not playable. Jeremy H added that. And that's actually a really good point. A lot of people just have a bunch of armies that are not playable at all because they like collecting or they just never got to the point of completing an army. So Seth, without looking, what do you think? What do you have, Seth? Actually, what do you have? What is how many armies?
So in the voting bracket, I'm 4, so I voted in the 3 to 4. 3 to 4. I have a Space Marine armor that I did for like a hobby project. I still have it because it's still pretty.
Yeah.
I've got Votan, I've got Tau, and then I have my main love, my orcs.
Nicky Dee, where are you at on this? How many armies do you have?
Also 4 Blood Angels, my first 40K love, Death Guard, Chaos Demons, Necrons, which I started with the Indominus set, right, the starter set. So I picture, right, 10th edition, there's going to be a lot of new Tyranid players for the same reason I'm a Necron player. And then I've got about 1,800 points of Imperial Knights, so I'm close to 5. I'm close to 5. I'm approaching that bracket.
Well, guys, I too have 4. I've got Admech, Orcs,
so 4 is the correct number, obviously.
Say what?
4 is the correct number then.
4 is the correct number. And then guard, of course. That's my 4. So, 4, it seems like the correct number. And yes, by the results, 4 gets the highest percentage. 3 to 4 have the highest percentage at 29%, closely followed, surprisingly, with 5 to 7 at 25%. 25, 5 to 7 armies. I mean, I thought 3 to 4 was like the more, I don't know. I just was surprised. 5 to 7.
I mean,
yeah, what's that?
If you look at a Kicker, the bulk of people are in
Oh my
that
gosh.
3+ category.
You're
Like
absolutely right.
29, you know, everything above that. That is the lion's share. That's like 74% of people.
Yeah, I mean, the least amount of people have one army. Obviously, you know,
Yeah.
people that are spending time reading about Warhammer online probably are pretty dedicated. They're probably gonna have more than one army, but still, only 10% said one army. We got a lot of people saying, you know, 8+ though, right? Like over 10, like 12% saying 8+. That's just a lot of 40K. Seth, we got a few comments here, you know, online. Did you see
Yeah.
anything?
So John Oates, he said he had 6, but he cut back to just 1 Dark Angels because that was the only one he was really playing with. And he's really happy now because that's letting him kind of focus his hobby efforts. And particularly something like Dark Angels, which is a Space Marine army, you have a huge range of models to work with there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good call, John. Kicker, you have to cut back to 1 army. So do you, Nicky Dee. I know mine.
I mean, with Guard, I might go back to it. I'm having so much fun. Nick, we got any other comments or anything that stood out? People?
Yes, we do. Albert Gatton says 8 is rookie numbers, or conscript maybe if we're talking, you know, making a 40K play on this.
Yeah, right,
but,
right.
Yep.
Albert has 16+. So that's, you know, that's a lot. I will note that, you know, in the chat here, Matt Laura, my opponent from Sunday and of Vanguard
Nemesis, he's
Tactics.
a nemesis now.
Yes. I mean, if that's my nemesis, he's a very nice
He
nice
is
nemesis.
your nemesis from now on, Nick.
I'll
That
take
is
it. I will take it. He says in the chat that he has all but Admech and Thousand Suns. So
all
but
All-
Admech and Thousand
but.
Suns. So he's
That
got
is
plenty.
impressive.
He's got plenty of options to kick my butt with a different army in the future.
That's a lot of armies, Matt. If you're, I mean, you are in chat. How long have you been playing this? Because that is a lot of freaking armies, man. Congratulations. I'm slightly jealous. I wish I had that many. Guys, okay. Stephen Hardy said he's been playing since 1987, and he's had one fully playable army that entire time. It's been Crimson Fist. He is just a diehard Crimson Fist fan.
Is.
Yeah. In 8th, though,
I'm sorry that Pedro got sunsetted, but
oh yeah, they lost that guy. He did say that in 8th he started expanding a little bit, but Crimson Fist, those are his babies. So.
I mean, there's one person that didn't comment, but I'm going to point out there is one person in this debate that cannot be beaten.
All right,
and that is the lovely Danny McDevitt of Grim After Dark. He owns every.
No way. Are you serious?
He literally has every army.
Oh my gosh, jeez, more than Matt, Laura. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I mean, I guess that's the thing at this point is you just have every army. And like, I think it means he's obligated every time GW makes a new army that he has to purchase it. Because at that point, you're just like, I guess I have to.
It's Pokemon. You got to get them all, man.
Exactly.
You got to collect them all, right?
I think he misinterpreted his game systems back when. So let's get on over to the community spotlight and show off some of the amazing work being done by the folks over in the Frontline Gaming Community Group. First up this week, my good buddy, my local friend, Mike Bridgman, he polished off 4 more Dark Angels dreads. Mike always does such good work, and he's always super fast at his painting. Like, this guy is Speedy Gonzalez, so always impressed with him. Next up, we have Phantom Dice has been working on it's on a Phantom Titan. Now this is early work in progress, but that is a big red boy.
That is red, man. That is a
big
very,
red boy. Yeah. Very impressed with that. Then next up, we have JC Watts. He's been working on some Guard Kicker. I know how you love Guard.
Yes, I love Guard, man. That is,
and I do owe JC a solid here because you guys remember last year, JC, I went to an event he ran. It's a charity event in Maryland called the Battle That Ends Alzheimer's, where he raises money for Alzheimer's research. Tickets just went up on sale for that one, August 5th and 6th. Always a great time to go check it out. And I believe that our own Nicky Dee also has had some run-in with this lovely individual, JC.
Yes, JC was part of the bus crew. Seth, you know him from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which you founded as a team. But anyways, JC and I got to play our first game of 40K this weekend. We played Saturday round 2. JC and I, we are in agreement on this, and this is a fact. JC and I both have the goodest and cutest dog of anyone in 40K. So our game was the battle of the best 40K dog havers. We agreed that we weren't gonna, the game was not stipulating
who won that battle.
No, who won?
I did, but we set it up saying that it was not rights or it wasn't. Neither one of us was going to agree, win or lose, that the other one had a better or cuter dog. So we agreed to disagree on it. We had a fantastic game, but folks, as someone myself who has had family members that have battled with Alzheimer's, this is a great event for a good cause. JC and the guys that run it, it is a great event. So check that out if you're able, and you'll have a great time.
Yeah, so go check that out. Help support those guys. Lots of fun there. Next up, model wise, you know him, you love him. Dean Pritchard's back. This time with his coconut crab, old One Eye. So look, you can see the poor missing eye on the old One Eye, and where he got his beloved name. Huge community member, and huge shout out to Adam Peterson. He's always on the community page. If I'm not up there posting on Wednesdays about what have you been working on, Adam definitely is. This week he's been working on the Red Skull from MCP. So the blue lightning on that really popped. I always struggle doing those lightning effects.
No, so hard.
But he did that really great. And then Kicker. This is one that you found for us. This is Patrick Martin's Votan. Check out those Votan. Chat, if you're listening to this, you need to be here, and at least if not in the live chat, come back to this video and check out these models, because
Insane.
My God, man, take a look at that. There is some amazing highlights on those Votan.
But it's also the heads, the faces. They got beards. It's Votan with beautiful.
They got beards, but they look like dirty space miners. It's awesome.
It's perfect.
I'm going to just keep making up new sea creatures for your NIDs. Next time, don't worry, it's going to be spider crabs. Because he got me again. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, great job, Patrick. Really loving your work there, man. I love the dirty space miner aesthetic. That's kind of what I went with, my guys. Now, I did tell chat that I was going to circle back around to this one. So I did save this question. This is from, I think it's Mr. Unknown. He said I've mentioned previously that I live in a more remote area and use tournaments to get a lot of my games in. What hobby and gaming advice do you have for those that live far from local game stores? So I in terms of hobbying, what I'm doing right now is what I do for hobby, where I figure out, something I want to work on for a tournament that's upcoming, and that kind of keeps me on track of doing some hobby progress, if not every day, every few days. So that kind of keeps those. I use that tournament as a mark on the calendar of, I have to have 30 flash kits done by the middle of June, otherwise I'm gonna be a sad panda when I go up to ACO. So I use events to kind of motivate my hobbying. Obviously, I watch a lot of videos, check out different YouTube channels for painting ideas. So that kind of gives me some inspiration. If I'm trying to learn a new technique, that's a way to do it. And in terms of gaming, since I don't have anyone to play with locally that much anymore, I do a fair amount of TTS in terms of just trying to get my reps. Now, TTS can be a divisive topic, and it's definitely not a one-to-one replacement for playing those in-person games. But it gives you a chance to kind of learn some list concepts and learn, generally speaking, does the list work? Is there big holes in the list? And give you a chance to play those. So hopefully that helps, because I'm guessing if you're asking me that question, you too also live in a bit of a remote area.
Seth, I'll add Nicky Dee jumping in here real quick. I live in Washington, D.C. Very much not a remote area, but it's somewhat difficult to get to game stores at times. So I feel that same effect. The thing that I'll point out, it actually goes back to Kicker's signal short. Having a hobby husband or hobby partner, right? And when you're at the events, like just find stores, even if it is an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, go and make friends there. Even just this past weekend at the event I was at, I got invited to 3 other Discord channels, or got invited to other teams to come and play or to join with them for these things. So, that was something where that's a really great way. The more people you know in the hobby, the more you can learn about, okay, how do I play against Chaos Knights when I face them next time? So even just being able to talk with people is a great way to do that. And ultimately, we all just want to go out and play with our plastic, or sometimes metal, or sometimes resin, or sometimes 3D printed toys.
So I do make the trips to the local hobby shops when I can on my weekends off, and I kind of go with, like, I know I want to buy X, Y, and Z, and I might hang out there for a bit, chat, and get the community. But yeah, mostly it's events for me. But yeah, and I obviously I order a lot of stuff from Frontline Gaming, and Kicker taught me the trick of, if I need paint, I kind of like stock up on what I need so I can get to the free shipping mark. And then I literally have a drawer in my hobby room of just extra pots of paint.
Yeah. Got to get that Agrax, man. Got to just keep it.
So, but like I now kind of know, like, okay, I might need these 2 or 3 pots, but I also know, okay, well, these are the ones I typically go through. I'll restock on them, so I kind of have those things sitting
and
around.
It's only $100 free shipping from Frontline Gaming.
But that way when I'm in the middle of a project and I run out of like a specific color, like lead belcher, I'm not like, well, I can't keep going. You know, I've already got a couple of them there. But when I pull, you know, a couple pots of that out of the drawer, and I know I've only got 1 or 2 left, I'll put them on the queue and order some more. All right, Kicker. Let's wrap this one up for the night. We've been going on for a bit. Final thoughts for the night, everyone? Thoughts?
Guys, BAO is this weekend. I'm excited, and I've got a pack.
He does indeed have to pack.
Yep, and then for myself, I'm excited. I've got a 3-day weekend. I'm going to work on some painting. I haven't shown hobby progress in a couple weeks because I haven't had any. I've been busy with things, so I'm looking forward to sitting down, painting, and then next week, folks, next week's show will be, of course, talking about the results of Bay Area Open, who won, who had some of the great who had some of the great painted armies. We'll probably show off some of the painted armies from the event that's there. So come check out our show next week. And then quick update, I'll be painting Demons. I know last week I committed to Death Guard for ACO, but after my great run with Demons this past weekend, I'm sticking with Demons.
Now you're sucked in. The powers of the Warp have their claws into you. I'm excited for ACO coming up. BAO's this weekend, but plenty to cover. So let's wrap this one up. We thank you so much for joining us, guys. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and at least Kicker will see you at the BAO. Good night.